The poor people. Outside the window, the cold wind howled. Whoosh, whoosh. Inside the small fisherman's hut, it was warm and dim. Jean sat by the fire, mending an old fishing net. Her 5 children were asleep in their beds, breathing soft and slow. Jean looked at the clock. "My husband is still out on the sea," she whispered. "The storm is so strong tonight." She worried about him, but she also worried about her neighbor. Poor Mrs. Simon. Mrs. Simon was very sick, and she lived all alone. "I must go and check on her," Jean thought. She put on her shawl, opened the door, and stepped into the dark night. The neighbor's house was cold and quiet. Sadly, Mrs. Simon had passed away. But in a little corner, Jean saw a cradle. Inside were 2 little babies, sleeping side by side. They had curly hair and round, chubby cheeks. Jean's heart beat fast. Thump, thump, thump. "We are so poor," she said to herself. "We have 5 children and only a little bread. How can we feed 2 more?" But the babies looked so small and so helpless. Jean did not think twice. She wrapped them in her shawl, picked them up gently, and carried them home. Back in her hut, she put the babies on her bed and hid them behind a curtain. Her face was pale. "What will my husband say?" she worried. Suddenly, the door opened. A tall man walked in. It was her husband, the fisherman. He was wet and tired. His heavy boots went clomp, clomp. "Oh, you are back," Jean said. "Did you catch any fish?" The fisherman shook his head. "No fish tonight. Only a torn net." He sat by the fire to warm his hands. "Jean," he asked, "what were you doing while I was gone?" Jean looked down at the floor. "I went to see Mrs. Simon," she said softly. "She is gone. And she left 2 little babies behind." The fisherman stopped moving. The room was very quiet. He looked at the fire and scratched his head. "2 babies?" he asked. "Well," he stood up tall. "We are poor. That is true. But we cannot let them stay in the cold." He smiled a kind smile. "Go get them. Jean, We will make room for them." Jean's eyes filled with tears. She smiled back at him. Slowly, she pulled back the curtain. "Look," she whispered happily. "They are already here."